So I was a successful church vicar. I was leading large-ish churches. I was a church planter, speaker, being invited to do all sorts of things. I was a dad with 3 kids, and I was married. But I was about 12 years into an abusive marriage, and that was starting to take its toll heavily on me. I suppose pressures of church as well were starting to take their toll. I'm 44 now, I suppose late 30s. I was beginning to really suffer with depression. And then when I turned 40, the wheels really fell off the wagon. My whole life just fell apart quite spectacularly. My marriage went down the pan, and ministry went down the pan, and all sorts of traumatic events happened over the course of a few years, which brought anxiety and depression into a sort of monstrous realm in my life. So with depression, really I was facing suicidal thoughts regularly. I was at the front of church, sometimes telling people how great it was to follow Jesus, and then in the week that followed wondering how I could most easily kill myself and end everything. I was fantasizing about running away, starting a new life, joining the circus type thing. I just wanted out. I was really struggling with basic everyday life, and yet I was having to go out and perform as a vicar. And I would find that when I was behind the front door, I was a paralysed mess. But as soon as I had to be out somewhere and do something, I'd put my dog collar on, I'd go out, I'd smile, I'd perform. Everyone thought I was fine. And it was a weird sort of dual existence. I felt when I went for professional ministry review sessions, I was putting a brave face on things. I wasn't saying I'm struggling. I was saying, yes, everything's fine. I didn't feel safe in saying to anyone professionally that I was struggling. There was no one in my churches that I could turn to because I was the vicar. And the issue of my marriage was that I was in an abusive marriage which had shut me off from all of my family and friends. For the previous decade, I hadn't had contact with people who I trusted and loved. So I had literally no one to talk to. And it was very, very hard for me to work out for myself what was going on. It was only after my wife ran off with somebody else that I then received counselling provided by the church, and I was able to start to talk about the things that I'd gone through. And through that, got in touch with friends in this local area who knew about the Hope in Depression course and recommended it to me. The Hope in Depression course was structured over a few weeks, so it wasn't a very long course. That was attractive in a busy life. And each week was covering something different. And the things which really appealed to me, because I've got a science background, were that some of the weeks were about the science of depression and what's happening inside your brain when you're dealing with depression or anxiety. What does the brain structure look like? How does nutrition affect your life? And those things really impacted on me in a big way. It was really good to start to feel that this isn't about being a useless failure. This is about learning to manage something medically. So life today is good. I've got a lovely new relationship, been with a lovely lady for the last 2 years. She's fantastically supportive. She's really patient and understanding with my ups and downs. So she came to and had a different experience of the course to me, but thoroughly enjoyed it. I would encourage anyone on the course to stick it through to the end and to just have an open mind as you go through. Realise that it's a magazine type course where there are different sections week by week, and some of the articles, some of the content is going to work for you, and some of it might work better for somebody else. But together you're there listening to one another, sharing stories, supporting one another, and it's a good thing to be a part of all the way through to the end.